Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This movie I've mentioned to some extent previously, and this was one that I said that if I was going to bring it up here, I was going to be talking about something else the director made that I wish he would release, just because, or re-release, just because I really enjoy it. I know that it's on YouTube, a copy of that other movie, and I really love watching it. It's a cartoon that he did, the director did. Several years ago. And this, of course, is this is the third Johnny Depp movie. Of course, as you'll remember, I did What's Eating Gilbert Grape and Crybaby already. This is the third one that I mentioned previously. It's this, Edward Scissorhands. I actually have 2 copies of this movie. This is one of them. There's another one that's got like a deck of cards and stuff with it. This, of course, also has none other than Tim Burton tracked in this movie. Another one of Johnny Depp, Tim Burton combo flicks. This has got Johnny Depp, of course, Winona Ryder, Diane Wiest again, Anthony Michael Hall, Kathy Baker, Vincent Price, and Alan Arkin. The reason why I mentioned Vincent is because, and Vincent Price as well, Tim Burton was is a huge fan of Vincent Price's work. He was a huge fan of Vincent Price himself. And Tim Burton made a cartoon flick named Vincent, and it was dedicated to Vincent Price. Well, it's like a total Vincent the cartoon. It's a complete ode to Vincent Price, and about how this little boy named Vincent wants to grow up and be Vincent Price. It's totally adorable. I mean, it's a little short, maybe 15-20 minute long clip. And this movie, on the other hand, what happens is this was released back in 1990, and it's got Winona Ryder as the girl that her mom, Diane Wiest, brings Johnny Depp's character, Edward Scissorhands, down the mountain from, the house. That's what the house looks like up on the mountain. And Edward Scissorhands, this is what his hands look like. I mean, he really does have scissors for hands. This is a great movie. This is another Diane Wiest movie. Of course, I've done 2 previous movie reviews that she was in, Practical Magic and The Lost Boys. As I mentioned in Practical Magic, Diane Wiest is a gifted actress. She's not fat, or chunked a little bit on the heavier side like she is in Practical Magic in this movie, and she's not as thin as she was in The Lost Boys. She was still kind of thin, but she was kind of putting on a little bit of weight in this movie. This movie, oh my gosh, I would watch this with your teenagers. This is also rated PG-13, but I would watch it with your kids. I mean, definitely like your teenage kids. They will understand it really clearly because it talks about teenagers, right and wrong, and it's like, being like, learning, that, okay, if you found money on the street, what would you do? You would give it to, would you give it to the cops? Would you give it to your loved ones? Who would you give the money to? They actually have that conversation in this movie. Anthony Michael Hall plays Winona Ryder's boyfriend in this movie. If you've watched any of Howard Hughes's movies, Brat Pack movies, Anthony Michael Hall plays the dork in 16 Candles. He's kind of grown up here. I've seen him in a few, like on television since then. And I didn't even recognize him. He looks so different. I mean, he looks completely different in this movie than he did in 16 Candles. I mean, huge. If I get around to bringing that movie up here to do a movie review, you'll see like what I'm talking about. Like huge. I mean, it's like really obvious huge. This is another one of those movies, and I know I mentioned this with Moulin Rouge. This movie and Moulin Rouge have Easter eggs This one's got an Easter egg in it, where if you do it just the right way over in the extras section, you'll get an Easter egg. It'll be a pair. It'll look like a pair of scissors. It'll be a thank you note from the director and everything. You know, oddly enough, well, this is of course Tim Burton with Vincent Price. You know, oddly enough, they don't have a picture of what Anthony Michael Hall looks like in this movie, but Winona Ryder actually dyed her hair blonde for this movie. You know, I showed this picture before, but that's her hugging Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp did his hair up like the lead singer of The Cure. And I mean, this movie is pretty good. I enjoy watching it. I just have to get in the mood to watch it. Vincent Price plays the inventor that dies before he can finish his creation, which is Johnny Depp's character Edward. But it's just, you know, this actual movie, I mean, I do enjoy watching it, so I do recommend it. And it kind of, I mean, like, if you want to watch it with your younger kids, I mean, that's fine. Just, you know, like, there's a few scenes that are, you know, kind of scary, but, you know, it's like one of those, like, accident scaries. Like, you know, like the kid falls down and Edward tries to help him up but accidentally scratches him, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, and just, you know, if you do watch this movie with your younger kids, kind of talk to them that there's no such thing as a person with scissors for hands in real life. And I also have to mention She-Devil here, because Tony and I were watching She-Devil recently, and we looked at each other and said, you know what, they used the exact same subdivision for She-Devil that they used in this movie. And I mean, seriously, they do, or it looks darn close, tell you what. But anyway, folks, I'm going to pause here for this evening, and oddly enough, and I got to point this out here before I close, this is movie number 10, or 12, and this is the 10th anniversary edition. It's just kind of ironic. I almost said, because it's the 10th movie, my hiney. You know, but this, I do recommend this movie, though. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching and tell you to keep an eye out for more movie reviews. And like I mentioned previously, I am still going to review Johnny Depp and Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland whenever it comes out. You know, when it comes out and I have time to watch it. So, I do thank you guys for watching my movie reviews that I've uploaded this evening, and you have a good evening.